Well, Poppy, exciting time in your life when you can travel the world, ride a bike and do what you like, but unfortunately you've got to come back to reality, which is year 12.
Yes.
Our next guest, James Brister, under-19 Australian star in the making. Just back from Italy. James, thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries, thank you.
All right, tell us a little bit about Italy, mate. You've just come back from the Worlds. How was Italy?
It was amazing. It was hands down best experience I've ever had.
Because of the place or because of the cycling, or both?
Just the whole experience. To go there, I haven't been overseas before, so just that in itself was amazing. But then competing, doing what I love at a World Championship was just awesome.
Can I ask you just something just quickly off air? What were the girls like in Italy?
It was just a bit of fun. There was just just socialising, great enough.
That's good. We're off here. Hey, James, let's talk about it, mate. 5th in the team sprint, bronze in the Kieran, outstanding. Yeah. Bronze in the individual sprints. Is there a favourite out of those three for you?
Oh, look, Kieran's always really fun. Always a good race. Very unpredictable. But for me, I think the sprint was the most satisfying because it was just really hard. Had to come through the rounds and
All right, mate, you talk about it's your first trip overseas.
Yeah.
Jet lag for you, the first time you've experienced it, and I saw your eyes go, oh, you've got to be kidding. How many days do you reckon it took you before you started to feel like you got your legs and your wind back in you?
It wasn't because I haven't done it before, I didn't really know any better, but it wasn't too bad. Our coaches really made us, stay up to the Italy time and, made sure we go to bed at that time. And, we did it quite well. And it didn't have too much of an effect because we were there for a week before comp, so it wasn't too much of an effect.
Had time to adjust.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been overseas to compete, obviously. I mean, look at me. But I've been overseas to have a good time, right?
Yep.
So jet lag doesn't affect me. Take us through what jet lag does. An elite level, Smythe. What does it mean?
All right, so obviously depending on your flight time, but I'm saying it's about 30 hours for you to get to Italy. It's around that time, counting your flight time, stopovers and everything else. Obviously, the first thing is the time change.
Yes.
So obviously when you're used to sleeping, you now have to be awake.
Yeah.
So that throws your body clock out. But the hardest thing is, I found, I don't know about you, James, the first 2 or 3 days that you actually exercise and run, you feel like you're running in cement or your legs have got lead in them. It's like they're full of lactic. I don't know a better way of describing it, but you feel like you're fatigued 5 minutes in, whereas normally that would hit you towards the end of the session. Same for you?
Yeah, pretty heavy legs.
Whereas a week in, you're starting to adjust and ready to
I reckon
go.
about 3 days in, I reckon you start to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
And then your first race, I don't know for you, normally for us the first game you're saying, wish we could play that game again because we were much better than that performance. And then after that you seem to get away. Similar for you, first race?
Yeah, so we sort of do a pre-race effort in training. So it's sort of gets that out the way so we're ready on the day.
Okay.
So it works pretty well.
And I reckon most times, athletes, and I hear these stories rather than experience them, is that in reflection you learn so much more.
Absolutely.
You come back to Australia, you reflect on what you've done, you think, you probably identify all these spots that I could do this better. I think okay.
A lot.
Yeah, very good. And the environment, the team environment that you were with, it was
so good. It was amazing. It was just, that's what made it as well. I think it was just, everyone was really just, making good vibes with each other. So,
good.
So James, obviously with Sassy, been a part of the program there for a couple of years. Other than the on-track cycling, what do you reckon's the most important couple of things for you?
To do
other than year 12, in case your mum and dad are listening to that past that, mate.
Look, just all the off-bike stuff. That's what makes you separate from everyone else. So I think, Sassy provides really good resources for us to be able to do that. So
is that gym work? Is that a diet? Is
everything,
that all of the above?
psych, gym, nutrition, all of that stuff they provide. So
most athletes, though, in a program like that, I was at the Institute of Sport for 8 or 9 years in Canberra. Most athletes have things they like and then things they don't like, be it I've got to go to the psych session or gee, I want to do weights today, or is there something for you that you go to, it's beneficial, but you just don't really enjoy being there? But you have to go to be the elite athlete?
Not dislike it, it's just something you got to do.
Yeah.
And, if it's going to help you improve, then you can't hate it.
I mean, the fun part is always to get on the bike and ride. The fun part for the athlete is always to compete. Now we have these other things. We have to do weights, we have to do diet, we have to do psych. Again, you probably touched on it fairly in that I have to go to those things. I don't necessarily like them.
Yeah.
For you, what's an average week of distance for you on the bike?
Well, so I'm a sprint cyclist, so it's very short.
Explosive?
Explosive stuff. So, 3 gym sessions a week, 3 track sessions a week, and 1 road ride.
So total time?
Total time, I'd say around 20 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a big ask still, though, for anyone, let alone when you're trying to balance a year 12, which is an important year. How are you finding that balance? Not long to go.
Yeah, it's so I've stopped training now, and it's just a big push to the end.
Okay.
Just get your 12 done.
It's just a sprint to the end now.
Basically.
A solid couple of months of sprinting. In saying that, James, were you able to do any study work while you were away, or it was just too full on?
No, I was completely focused on what I had to do. So cycling and then school, 100%.
Okay. How long were you away for?
I was away for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a big chunk, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a long time,
Yeah. Have you been able to catch up? Do you feel like you're catching up on your schoolwork?
Yeah, look, it's like the school's helped me out a lot. So with, easing the load that I have to do, but I think I can get it done.
Still pretty difficult.
I ask, and it's probably an obvious question because you're going to say Olympics probably, but is that have you targeted? This is where I'm going to be. Is there an end game for you? Have you got a finish line?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say. I obviously want to go to the Olympics.
Yes.
Gold medal. That's the ultimate goal.
Sure.
Or something easy. Gold
No,
medal.
but look,
that's good.
and I ask, but I ask with respect because we all want that.
Yes.
But there is a time where you just have to be. There's no shortcuts.
No.
There's nothing. Have you found what's required to be achievable? Change of diet, amount required. Family life, because it takes everything.
Absolutely.
It absolutely takes everything.
Yeah,
what are the biggest hurdles for you in that?
On the bike, I'm really committed. I'm doing everything I'm meant to do. So that's just time. I think there's a lot of off-bike stuff. I think personally I need to improve to get to that level. And if I do everything right, then hopefully one day those dreams will come true.
Most kids that finish year 12, or not most, but a lot of them take the famous gap year or a couple of years off. Is that where you see it for you, so I can totally commit all my energies to the bike?
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be doing any sort of study at this point in time, like next year. I'm going to put all my effort into training to get me to a certain level, and then I'll reassess, because I don't really know what I want to do in study at the moment. So, I'll reassess next year.
When can you track, a couple of years, what are we, so 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, so 2020, when can you track that you're a chance? When can you know 1 year out, 2 years out, 4 years out? Because if you miss 220, obviously she's a long old wait again.
Yeah, well, that'd be a hard ask just because of how many good guys that are a lot older than me.
So is 224 it?
You never know. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Nothing's out of the question.
Okay.
If I'm, if everything goes right, I do everything properly, who knows? Maybe 220 would be a thing. But
I'm just fascinated at the amount of time, and I guess what I'm trying to bring out is, at this level, it could be 6 years.
Easy.
I mean, it might be 2, and I cross my heart. I hope you make it 220. But the fact is, it could be more, and that's.
It could be 10.
And that's what's required.
Yep.
Well, what's sprint cyclists? When do they traditionally peak?
I'd say
does it vary?
late 20s.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I reckon Newman was around 27, 28.
Yeah.
So now you're talking a decade.
Well, and that's it for that moment. I just love those stories, Yeah.
All right, James
buddy.
Brister was our special guest, the current under-19 Kieran Champ. Keep an eye on that name. It's going to be a beauty with cycling. Going to be dominant for us, I'm sure. Stay with us. Still a bit to come.